Welcome back, everybody. Today I'm here to talk about The Walking Dead Season 9 because AMC put out this behind the scenes look at the Whisperers, and we have some interviews from some cast and crew, and then also some brand new footage that we have not seen yet before. So I'm going to talk all about that in this video today, but before I do begin, if you are a fan of The Walking Dead, be sure to subscribe for daily content. But other than that, let's get started. So I want to start off by talking about the brand new footage we got because that's pretty exciting. And the first new one we have is this one right here. We have this shot of the group in the graveyard. I mean, we saw a little bit of this in the previous trailer, but we have some new bits in here, like Eugene is looking around and we hear some whispering. So again, this is obviously telling us that episode 9 is going to pick up immediately where episode 8 left off. Now this next thing is some brand new footage. We have this whisper right here, and it looks like the way they film it, they make it look like this whisper is looking at Michonne, and it possibly could be, but this whisper kind of goes underneath its sleeve and pulls out something, and then it cuts right there. So I'm assuming it's going to pull out a knife. And I like how they added that, because a whisperer keeping their knives underneath their sleeve opposed to, like, you know, underneath their belt or something. I like that because, you know, underneath the sleeve is very easy to get to. You can just like roll it down, you can just grab it, it can drop in your hand. It's a very like sleight of hand type of thing. And the whisperers are very fast, and they can, like we saw, they killed Jesus out of nowhere. So I did like how they added that, you know, the whisperers having the knives underneath their sleeves. And then we have Michonne here on the bridge, and we have these two walker, maybe whisperers coming at her. I'm pretty sure one of these are gonna be a whisperer. I want to say this one in the front, closest to her, is a walker, and then the one back here is a whisperer. But like I said, in episode 8, you know, when that whisperer killed Jesus, the way it was walking, it was like a walker. So either both of them could be a whisperer, or one of them, or none of them. But I'm hoping at least one of them are gonna be a whisperer. That way we can also get like maybe a cool little sword fight with Michonne and the Whisperer. And then I love this part right here. We have a bunch of Whisperers coming at them. Or I mean, we don't know if they're coming at them, but they're walking towards somewhere. Obviously, I'm assuming they're going to be walking towards the hilltop. But they're just walking in a straight line, and like every single one of these are whisperers. I'm pretty sure I don't see any walkers anywhere. They're all walking normally. They're not even trying to blend in with, you know, the walkers. They're just walking normally. So I did love that, and it's just creepy as hell seeing these guys just walk in a straight line. Like, it's normal. I don't know. I just love this scene right here. I also don't notice any like alpha or beta in this bunch of whisperers. It's just probably a bunch of random whisperers, honestly. Alpha could be in the back because it's Alpha and maybe they want to protect their leader or whatever. But I see this scene being connected with the scene earlier in the trailer where we see those two whisperers looking at the hilltop and then they turn to each other real quickly. I could see this scene being connected to that, you know, them on their way to the hilltop. Because we know that the whisperers are going to be sending, they're going to be going to the hilltop or whatever. And I think Alpha might be sending some whisperers to the hilltop to check it out. Because, like I mentioned, in this trailer, those two whisperers who are looking at each other, they're doing it in a very sneaky way. Like, they're just kind of spying on the hilltoppers. In other parts of the trailer, they just walk up to the gates. They don't really care. So I think what's happening here is that Alpha is probably going to be sending whisperers to go check out the hilltop to see what's going on there, because obviously they have her daughter captive. Next we have this whisperer right here, and this is obviously a whisperer because it's acting like a human. I can't play the clip, but the whisperer has a knife in its hand, and it turns around really quickly. But this, I think, is connected with this scene right here, where they have Carol and Diane with some arrows, because it looks like it's the same background. So maybe it's gonna be the kingdom, because they did say Carol is most likely gonna be going back to the kingdom and staying there. So maybe the whisperers are, this is like some whisperers are gonna be going to the kingdom here also. And now that I'm thinking about this more, I feel like now, since they're building up the fair and the whisperers at the same time, I feel like they're gonna be sending whisperers to all, like, I don't know exactly how the whisperers are gonna know where all these communities are. They're probably just gonna find out somehow. But we also got that other trailer where we saw those whisperers spying on Judith and Michonne. So I think, you know, the whisperers are gonna find out all these communities, and they're gonna send people to the hilltop, to the kingdom, and Alexandria, to kind of spy on these people and see what's their deal. And maybe after all these whispers get intel or whatever, this is when Alpha's gonna come, because we see Alpha at the gates of the Hilltop. So when they find out, her daughter is being held captive at the Hilltop, they're gonna go back to Alpha and tell her, and then Alpha's gonna go there. That's why maybe we don't see Alpha at the Kingdom or Alexandria. But then when they do the fair at the Kingdom and they find out, the Whisperers find out that everybody from all the communities are going to be there, Alpha is also probably going to go to the fair to cause some trouble. And then we have some new footage here also. We have Kelly, Tara, Yumiko, Daryl, and Magna at the gates of the Hilltop, and they're looking over at something. And I think this is a continuation, because the next thing we see is the group, we have Daryl going down to greet Alpha at the gates of the Hilltop. Now, I don't know if I'm tripping or something, but I don't remember the Hilltop having this. They just built this? It's like the back of the Hilltop? Or is this Alexandria? I don't know. It's been a while since we've been to this. But I think this is the Hilltop. They just added this, unless I missed it. But anyways, we saw this in the other trailer, but to me it looks like there's a lot more whispers here than there were before. So that scene I was talking about earlier, where all the whispers are walking in a straight line, they're probably gonna send like one group over. Once it's clear, they're gonna call Alpha to come, because obviously they're not gonna send their leader first, because they want to protect their leader. And then once they find out it's clear, they're gonna tell Alpha to come for her daughter. I'm kind of mapping out things right now, so you guys are kind of seeing what's happening in my head. But yeah, that scene where those whisperers were spying on the Hilltop, that's obviously them clearing it out, and then they're gonna call Alpha to come over. But this is the scene I want to talk about, the new scene. This is a continuation, but a much better look at Alpha to go up to the gates of the Hilltop, where she walks up. And I love this scene right here, because we have people running away in fear. I love that. Now, obviously, it's not just Alpha. There's probably a bunch of whisperers behind her, which is also very terrifying. But I love how everybody just runs inside in absolute horror, because whenever Negan came to the gates, no one really ran away. Like, no one was like terrified of Negan. They were scared of what Negan and his men could do, but his presence wasn't that terrifying, if you get what I'm trying to say here. But Alpha, on the other hand, and the Whisperers, just looking at them is pretty terrifying. So I really like that little touch of detail of everybody running inside. And then also, right before they show that Alpha rolls up to the gates of the Hilltop, immediately before that, they show that scene of Luke and Alden looking at Alpha. So I don't think they're doing that for just on accident. I'm pretty positive there's a reason behind that, because if Alpha finds out that the Hilltop is having holding her daughter captive, the smart thing to do, and anybody would do this, is to, let's get one of their people so we can do a trade. And that's what's obviously going to happen here. And I don't see Luke and Alden at the gates, but maybe they're putting a mask on them or something. Here's the shot of the gates. If you guys can see them, I don't see them here, but still, I think the smart thing to do would be to, get some prisoners to trade for your daughter. Now, when it comes to the commentary for this behind-the-scenes look, we have some cast and crew saying some stuff about the Whisperers. I'm going to read a few of them, starting off with Angela Kang. She said that the Whisperers are this really unique adversary in our world. They're a group that decided the world belongs to the Walkers now, so what we're going to do is walk with the Walkers. The way that they look at the world, the way that they approach making their way through the world is pretty terrifying. It's hardcore. Yeah, the Whisperers are pretty hardcore if you ask me. The way they do stuff is just so crazy, and I want to see more of these guys, and I want to see a origin story of the Whisperers. Even Denai Guerrera said something about this. Denai Guerrera said, the psychology behind them is some of the most complex you've ever seen on this show. And yeah, there's so many people in the apocalypse. Not so many people, but there's obviously more walkers than people. But there's still a good number of people and groups in the apocalypse, this deep into the apocalypse. But none of them do what the Whisperers done, and even groups they meet after the Whisperers, if you read the comics, nobody really does what the Whisperer does. There's little things they do that the Whisperers kind of take to extremes, like we saw what Glenn and Rick did in season 1. But what the Whisperers do, they basically live among walkers. That's just so crazy to me, and I want to see what drove them to do this, especially Alpha and Lydia. I want to see like how this, you know, family from the beginning, how they became, you know, what they are now. That's my pitch to The Walking Dead and AMC. They're currently working on spin-offs and stuff, and I'm telling you right now, a Whisper spin-off would be freaking amazing. I just want to read one more thing from executive producer Denise Huth, because she said something about Jesus that was pretty interesting. She said that for them to be able to take out Jesus the way they did, who was one of the most seasoned survivors of the group that could handle anything, that will resonate with all them moving forward. I like that because I do think taking out Jesus was a smart move, but I think it would have been a smarter move if Jesus was the character he was supposed to be. That way we would know he's like one of the most powerful and, you know, best survivors. Like, we know that because of his character and his character description in the comics, but the way they kind of showed him in the TV show, I mean, I still agree with what she said, but I just kind of wish they showed more of Jesus being like a badass survivor, because that way when he died, then we would be like, oh shit, they just took out Jesus. Now things are getting pretty crazy. But the way I kind of see it is like, okay, they took out somebody who could fight. Like, if the Whisperers took out Daryl, that would be crazy, because Daryl, the way they've shown Daryl on the TV show, he's like one of the best survivors, you know? Like, he's really good, and he's strong, and he's powerful. And Jesus is that person, but they didn't utilize him in the TV show, if that makes sense. But anyways, let me know what you guys think about that in the comments down below. But anyways, I am going to wrap it up there. Let me know what you guys thought about the new footage and the new information we got. Leave your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. Thank you guys for watching. If you are a fan of The Walking Dead, be sure to subscribe for daily content, and I'll see you guys next time.